Hello, caregivers. We are so glad you are joining us for session 3 of Caregiver University. This is all about the MAP assessment for students that are in grades K through 5. So let's go ahead and get started. We are so glad you were here. I'm Allison Ryson, Early Literacy Director in Terrell ISD. So first, we're just going to quickly talk about what the MAP assessment is. And this assessment is given in Terrell ISD K through 8, reading, math, and sometimes science. So fifth graders do take the science assessment. This MAP assessment is given 3 times a year, usually fall, winter, and spring, and it is a computer adaptive assessment. And what that means is it adjusts to how your child is doing in the moment. So if your child answers a test question correctly, the next question will be a little bit more difficult. If they answer the question incorrectly, then the next question is going to be a bit easier. Let's learn a little bit more about it by watching a short video clip.
MAP growth measures what your child knows and is ready to learn. This assessment was created by NWEA, a not-for-profit organization. NWEA was founded in 1977 by educators and researchers with a mission of partnering to help all kids learn. More than 9 million students in the US and in 140 countries worldwide use MAP growth. Most schools give MAP growth tests in the fall, winter, and spring. The test is adaptive, which means that it adjusts to each student's responses. If a student gets a question right, it gets harder. If a student gets a question wrong, it gets easier. The test is not concerned with which grade a student is in. It will go as high or low as it needs to. This helps you see if your child is testing above, below, or right at their grade level in all types of subjects, including math, reading, language usage, and science. Students receive an individual RIT score at the end of the test. MAP growth measures student performance with our RIT scale, the most stable and mature scale in the industry. This scale measures and tracks performance across grade levels, so you will be able to see your child's growth from year to year and over multiple years. Another great thing about the RIT score is that you can connect it to online resources. For example, you can get book suggestions based on a student's reading level and use free sites like Khan Academy, which provide practice exercises based on your child's learning needs. NWEA also has a College Explorer tool that lets you enter your child's RIT score to see which colleges they can likely get into. Teachers also get a student report after the test. This report explains what the student knows and helps the teacher and the student set goals for learning. Every 3 years, NWEA provides schools with norms. This is anonymous data for more than 10 million students around the country. It tells teachers and students the top, middle, and bottom scores of all these students combined, so they can compare where a student is to other students and help them grow. A teacher can then say to a student, "Wow, you're in the 98th percentile. What kind of work will keep you challenged?" Or, "You're in the 50th percentile for math. Let's look at where you need help." MAP growth improves both teaching and learning by giving teachers accurate information about your child. For more information about MAP growth, visit nwea.org/parent-toolkit.
I'm going to pause the video, so if you want to jot down this website, you can. nwea.org/parent-toolkit. And that will give you access to the resources mentioned in the video, as well as this video if you'd like to watch it again. So the MAP assessment tells teachers what students need to learn, maybe areas they need help in, and also areas that they're doing really well in, and gives us a continuum of what students are ready to learn next and ready to be challenged with. Teachers and schools use the MAP assessment to inform instruction, to personalize learning, and to monitor how students are growing from fall to winter, then winter to spring, and then also from year to year. MAP will tell you if your child is working at grade level, but it's only one measure. It's not the only assessment that your child is taking at school. They're also given unit assessments and running record assessments, and that's where a child will read aloud to their teacher, and the teacher is noticing if the child is decoding at grade level, is reading fluently, and if the child is understanding what they're reading. Let's go ahead and look at some sample questions. These are going to be from the reading MAP assessment. So this is a sample grade 1 question, and this is asking children to match the uppercase letters to the lowercase letters. Now you'll notice the speaker icon right here, and when students click on that, the words match the uppercase letters to the lowercase letters are read aloud. This is an example from a kindergarten assessment. It's asking which word is the best label for the pictures. So students will need to read these words, farm, lunch, pets, and toys independently, and then determine which label is best and drag the label to the box above. This question is a kindergarten question, and it's asking children to click on the word what. So this is determining if students know the high frequency word what. So that's an example. And let's say your child is in first or second grade. They might see this question too, depending on how they're doing on their assessment. This is a grade 2 example. This example shows you a reading passage that students will need to read independently and then answer questions based on the passage. Now, the questions could be over the whole passage or just parts of the passage. So this is a 3 through 5 example, very similar to grade 2. The question is, under which heading does the author include information about white-crowned sparrow babies? Again, students read the passage independently. It's not read aloud to them. And then, like for this particular question, they have to know nonfiction text features. Like, for example, they have to know what a heading is, and then they have to determine what information was in each section of text. This is another grade 3 through 5 example, and it is asking students to identify the main idea of the paragraph. So you have most likely received a family report from your school, your child's school. And so I just wanted to give you a little bit of information and guidance on how to read the family report. So the first graph shows, the graph on the left shows the percentile your child is in for achievement. It will tell you the range of scores and what your child scored. So the particular child that I'm showing you here scored in the 44th percentile, which means they scored better than 44% of their peers. And you'll notice at the bottom of the graph, it gives you a little bit more information. I marked out the student's name, so that's where you see the black rectangle, but on your family report, it'll have the child you're caring for, their name in that spot. So the student's overall score was a 179 on a range of 100 to 320. Your child is in the 44th percentile, which means they scored better than 44% of their peers. Now, the second graph shows how your child has grown. This child has grown from fall to winter. This particular child we're looking at, they made more progress than 86% of their peers. So this child had really high growth from fall to winter, which is great, great news. If you do look at the bottom, the MAP test will predict how your child would do on the Texas STAR test, which is given in grades 3 through 5 in the spring. So this particular child is predicted to score in the approaches range on the STAR assessment. When you're in the parent toolkit, you also might see the achievement norms. And so what you need to know about this is, like, if we look at kindergarten right now, winter score, the mean is 146.28. And what that means is that's the middle score, the 50th percentile for all the student scores that were collected across the nation. And so that's what that is. The family report will be even more specific and tailored to your child's score in achievement and growth. Lastly, I just want to end with some questions to ask your child's teacher. The first thing, if you have not received your family report, you can ask your child's teacher in their school to give you the family report. They will print it out for you. It's very easy, and send it home with your child. So the first question you may want to ask your child's teacher is, what strategies are you using in your classroom that I can reinforce at home? So in reading and mathematics, your child's teacher is using specific strategies and can tell you those strategies so that your child can continue to use them at home, and you can support them in that. Number 2 is, does my child need help in any specific areas? The MAP assessment will give clear indicators on areas that your child needs some specific help in. Number 3, what will my child be working on to continue growing? So this is another question that your child's teacher can easily answer. We set goals with students, and we know what your child is working towards and what they're ready for. So I will pause just a little bit in case you want to take a picture of the screen or jot the questions down. Lastly, we just want to say thank you for taking the time to watch our video, and just to say that we are here to support you and your family. So if you have any questions at all, you can find me at allison.rison@terrellisd.org, or feel free to reach out to your child's teacher or their campus to ask any questions that you might have, and just know that we're here to support you and to answer any of your questions regarding academics. Thank you so much.